All right, guys, I'm in the truck with the window up right now, target array beyond it, with the Glock in the Fab Defense KPOS chassis that I've got here set up as a cheek pistol, so dongle's gone. Just want to do a demo real quick of how compact this shooting platform is. Now, when I say shooting platform, I don't mean the gun. I mean the gun as it's mounted to my body while I'm shooting. There's a lot of really small guns that still make a really large shooting platform because you gotta put a stock against your chest, lean over it, and it doubles the length of that platform. But this, run from the cheek, is so compact that I can come up in a truck and without even coming close to touching the window, I can put shots out that driver's window from a driver's position. So much so that I can brace my elbow against the door here and really sure up that shooting posture, and I still have several inches before I would run the muzzle end or the light of this into the glass. Now, I can do that with a pistol, and I can take these shots in a compressed fashion, but what I can't do with a pistol is get the volume of fire on there, putting shots as precisely and as quickly as I can with this. The 0.28, 0.26, 0.25, 0.23, and 0.21 split on a target at 25 yards. Now I've moved the truck so that I'm facing 45 degrees uprange. Targets on my left are actually behind me over my shoulder at about 30 yards, and I've got a target directly behind me that's roughly 40 yards. So you can see I'm not special. Here's my buddy who is new to cheek pistols running the same target array for the first time. Got my 10.5 5.56 AR cheek pistol set up in my truck to go over how I have this set up and the benefits of this setup when you're working in something confined space like a truck driver's seat. So everyone focuses on the bare short tube here, no stock, no brace, and we're 2 inches shorter on the tube. That's a part of the solution here. By itself, it doesn't really grant me a whole lot, but when I combine it with some other features on this gun, like a high up, far forward mounted optic and a more upright compressed grip, then I get some extra capability. Specifically, I get the capability to mount this gun in a more compressed fashion than I could with a stock or brace against the chest, and more compressed than I could with a traditional mounted optic that would be somewhere mid of the upper receiver. With those things out of the way, I can compress this gun all the way up to my eye from an upright shooting posture, which keeps me in a vehicle high up with the best visibility. When I compress this gun like so, I'm resting my cheek in front of the charging handle. So for those of you with standard charging handles, the charging handle is going to sit right behind the jaw. With this far forward mounted optic, I still have plenty of standoff from my eye to the optic, and by compressing the gun as much as I do, I'm actually creating an artificial fourth point of contact. So I have my 2 points of my hands, my third point, which is a strong cheek weld against that upper receiver, and I have the joints in my wrist and elbow limited out to where the gun cannot travel rearwards anymore because there's no more room, right? This structure right here is essentially my stock. Right there, it can't compress further unless you're talking about breaking my wrist and elbow, which is exactly the same that you would have with any of the short stocking options. If you are just shooting super compressed like this all the time, it's less comfortable on the wrist. And it does change the geometry of the trigger and trigger finger relation. So you're likely not going to be center of pad anymore. You're going to be deeper in the crease or maybe just beyond that. Still, you can see me demo 300-yard shots with this. And when I shorten the gun this much, so by bringing this in here, that allows me with a 10.5 barrel to rotate through the cab of a truck all the way back to the rear without having to leave my seat, undo my buckle, or bonk the muzzle or flashlight into any of the A-pillars, windshield, or glass. Those are decent capabilities. Now, does that replace all of the CQB technique where we are bumping out of the seat and lengthening our torso? No. Pros and cons to everything, guys. You could absolutely run most of this with a one of the PDW, like really compressible stocks and ultra short tubes. You could also do this with some of the non-buffer tube designed guns that have folding stocks. You can run it right here from that cheek weld and have a very compact shooting platform for work inside of these small spaces. Don't have to bump the window, don't have to leave the driver's seat. So, not touching the window at all. Now I'm going to show you what these shots look like live. I'm not going to shoot out my window, but roll this down and I'll take some shots on this rifle rated steel. Please take a second and subscribe. If you have other stuff you want to see, let me know in the comments. Always looking for new stuff to film. If you want more of this stuff, go on my Patreon, sign up at the all access level, and you're going to see stuff that nobody else gets. This is entirely made possible by you guys, so any of the Patreon support, that's what keeps us around. Thank you. Keep training. Stay safe.